Last week, we told you about the cash crunch facing small business owners across the country, including a comedy club in Washington, D.C. And those laid-off employees, waiters, waitresses, and bartenders are certainly feeling the pain as comedy clubs sit empty. So we wanted to tell you about an effort by a group of stand-up comedians now raising money for the wait staffs of comedy venues across the country. Here's ABC's Devin Dwyer.
D.L. Hughley, Seinfeld, everybody's been here.
Comedy clubs are launch pads for the biggest stars in stand-up.
It's depressing to see it totally empty.
But now dozens of those beloved local hangouts like DC Improv in the nation's capital have gone silent. Co-owner Allison Jaffe doing all she can to help her staff survive.
I had to lay off my whole team of 50 people, and it's awful, you know, and I love those guys and I want to help them. And, you know, we set up a staff GoFundMe page to try to raise money. We're close to $30,000 now, which is amazing.
That GoFundMe page given a surprise boost by comedian Mike Birbiglia, who got his start at DC Improv. He's put together the website tipyourwaitstaff.com to raise donations for laid-off workers at comedy clubs around the country. In exchange, Birbiglia and his friends, from Rami Youssef to Sarah Silverman to John Mulaney.
I'm going to burn through a few because...
Okay, burn through a few.
Okay.
Offering fans a rare inside look at how their jokes are made.
I don't think it's fair to make a baby wear a T-shirt that has like an attitude that says like born to shop or like change my diaper. Like I think that could not be their persona at all. Maybe it's their persona.
I don't know how the COVID-19 situation is going to adjust what's funny, but this joke was written pre-COVID. So I don't want any judgment from you. I don't know any black preppers. You're asking me to be prepared for when things go bad. It's bad for me now.
Birbiglia launched the effort with Comedy Central's Roy Wood Jr.
This came about because you and I were like, how do we help these clubs? Because these clubs are just shut down right now. There's no revenue. What we're doing here is actually kind of not what you see as an audience member, which is like comics call each other and they go, what do you think of this premise?
His first fundraiser for the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana, where owner Jared Thompson had to cancel Birbiglia's upcoming performance and lay off staff because of the COVID-19 shutdown.
He just texted me that he had this idea called Tip Your Waitstaff, and he was going to go live on Instagram, and you know, he told me about it, and then the next day he was like, all right, we're going live in like 30 minutes.
How much has he raised so far for your 9 staff? Do you have a sense?
Yeah, it's almost $4,000. It's so crazy. Like, I mean, Mike is just an unbelievable person, and, you know, he's at a point in his career that he could very easily just sort of do things the way that most people do and just kind of, you know, care about himself and his family.
For the Comedy Attic and so many other clubs, it's welcome support at a time of deep uncertainty about the future.
We're going to do everything we can to make sure that we can reopen once we get, you know, the okay to do so. I would say that the likelihood that we can have a full packed room with a sold out show, that might be a much longer thing than just having a show where we can have 30, 40, 50 people in there. We can make that work. It's just a matter of, will we be able to book the high-level talent that we're used to booking?
For now, those big names are asking for big tips to laid-off staff while giving all of us a good laugh.
Hey, Ma, what are you doing? Put your mask on and the gloves.
For ABC News Live, I'm Devin Dwyer in Washington.
And we are joined now by a man in a profession that we certainly need right about now, veteran comedian Mike Birbiglia. He started the Tip Your Waitstaff effort. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Lindsay.
So what kind of response are you getting on helping these clubs and their employees, both from your fellow comedians and from their fans? And do you know how much you've been able to raise so far?
It's been just positive across the board. I think the clubs feel appreciated and seen. I feel like comedians, you know, between Sarah Silverman and John Mulaney and Melissa Villaseñor are all willing to do it because we don't know what else to do right now. I feel like if you're not a medical professional, a doctor, a nurse, a delivery person, a grocery worker, you feel a little bit helpless right now.
And we've seen so many people lose their livelihoods in the past few weeks as this pandemic has taken hold. How concerned are you that some of these venues, especially some of the smaller ones, aren't going to be able to make it through?
I think most comedians are really concerned about sort of where does this land and where do we go from here, yeah, I mean, I've been going to these clubs for 20 years. I've been, the DC Improv, which was mentioned, is where I started. I was a back waiter. I worked the door there, and it's it's a great group of people who run these clubs, and I think we're going to do everything we can to help them keep going.
We heard some concern from that comedy club owner in Indiana that it may take a while for people to start going back to venues where there were once large crowds. Do you think that this is going to change the nature of stand-up at all, even if just for the short term?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if anyone knows anything right now, and I would say that. As comedians, in terms of like the Tip Your Waitstaff initiative, it's like we don't have any answers. We just have jokes, and that's all we can do is try to entertain right now in the midst of what feels like an insane amount of uncertainty.
You think that it's possible that the digital venues will be a good place in the future, or is that live audience component just critical to the whole experience?
I think that live performance will always exist. I think we're living in a time where we're going to have to make it to the other side of this, and I think we're going to have to become smarter as a country about science and facts and paying attention to what's happening because I think it's just a big wake-up call for the country, and I wish there was a punchline to that. There's not going to be a punchline for that for a while.
Obviously, very serious times. To your point, there's no punchline here, really. But talk about the importance of humor and laughter getting us through this.
Well, I think all of us we're inundated right now with reading and watching news and really grim statistics and people dying, and it's very, very sad. And I think comedy provides, whether it's movies or comedy specials or this kind of live stream thing that we're doing, is just it's just a taste of the absurdity that can make us just remind us of the absurdity of everything. I mean, like it really is like. It's like the old cliche is like laughter is the best medicine, but that cliche came from a real place. Right. I mean, like I think there really is a degree to which it's healing and cathartic to hear someone really game out absurdity.
Well, as you just said it best, that laughter is the best medicine. And after all, it is Friday, the end of another brutal week. So if you have a good joke for us, we'd love to hear it.
Well, my whole last special, which is called The New One on Netflix, was about having a child and the first 13 months of her life. And I don't really, my new material I'm working on, I don't talk about my daughter much because she's 5. She's adorable, and there's nothing funny about being adorable, except the other day I said, Mom's going to put you to bed. And she said, she's not your mom. She's my mom. And I said, that's what my therapist keeps telling me. Because all toddlers have a Boston accent. They're like, I'm tired. And Boston toddlers are like, I'm wicked tired. And that's my one joke I have about my daughter right now.
We appreciate it. And thank you so much for your time and your humor, Mike Birbiglia. We appreciate you. And again, his website is tipyourwaitstaff.com.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.